Good morning, guys. Today I'm gonna bring y'all along with me this week and we're gonna see how many pages of my books that I can read in 1 week. I'm very excited. I am about to leave for work, so I will let y'all know when I first start reading today, what page I'm starting on. I am like, I don't know, maybe 40% through a book currently. Not that anyone cares, but I am eating a bagel with garden vegetable cream cheese this morning for breakfast. And I'm gonna tear down. I'm fixing to tear down. So I am on my lunch break. Today has been very busy at work, so I did not get a chance to read anything while I was there. And I am on page 84 starting reading for this week. So I'm gonna get my food and we're gonna see how far I get before I have to go back to work. Okay, so I got my food, I made it back to work, and I'm going to sit and read. I have about 30 more minutes and we're gonna see how far I can get. So actually it's not the next day, actually it's Wednesday. Tuesdays are always really busy for me and I did not have a chance to even film, and I didn't read anything. I have Bible study on Tuesday nights, so I really just prepare for that and make sure that I'm ready for that. It is Wednesday, and I just wanted to update y'all on what I have read today. So on Monday, last time we talked, I was on my lunch break. I read from page like 86, 80, is it 86? I don't remember. I told y'all just a second ago. I read from, I think, page 86 to page 110. And then today, I read 2 different times for like maybe 10 minutes at a time. But currently, I'm on page 125. I have a little bit of time left on my break. I ran home to put some chicken in the crock pot. And we're going to read while I'm eating these nacho fries and see how far we can get. Are you okay? Okay, so I definitely got distracted while I was reading, and I definitely didn't read that much. I definitely only read 4 pages. I got to page 129, and I was distracted by my cats, and then I wanted to make an iced coffee, even though it's 40 degrees. So, you know, I'm a fast reader on the weekends. That's all I gotta say. I'm a fast reader on the weekends. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to work now. Catch y'all in a bit. Hey. So it's been another minute. Last time I talked to you was yesterday. By the time that I left work, I had read from page 111 to page 125 while I was at work, or during the day. And then last night I got in the bed. I did not film. I forgot. I was too engaged in what I was reading. But I read from pages 126 to page 200. And I stopped at 200 last night because I kept reading. I was reading way past my bedtime. It just kept, like, the climax just kept going up and up and up. But then it kind of went back down a little bit. So I was like, okay, I need to go to bed now before it keeps going up. And then I'm up until 2 o'clock in the morning because that's just not going to do. I am at page 200 today. I am planning to get in the shower, get ready for my nighttime routine, and then at some point I am going to read tonight and see where I get. I left y'all like a long time ago. Like, I have not talked to y'all about the pages that I've read in a severely long time. I don't even remember the last time that I did talk to y'all about it, but I did do, I think it was Thursday maybe, but I did do a 24-hour readathon on Friday night. So therefore I did read an abnormally gigantic number of pages. Friday night I started the 24-hour readathon and went from 8 o'clock Friday to, well, it was like 7 8:30. I don't know. It was between 7 and 8 o'clock Friday, and then between 7 and 8 o'clock on Saturday. And in that, I read on Friday when I started the readathon. I was on page 200 of A Bond So Fierce and Fragile, which was the book that I have been reading all week at this point. And so I started on page 200, and I read to the end of the book, which was page 486. And then Saturday, I read This Woven Kingdom, and that has, I think, 472 actual pages that like I actually had to read. And then I also read the second book in the series, These Infinite Threads. I also read that book, and that was, how many pages are in the book? It says 416 pages, so I probably read like 390, we'll say 396. I read 396 pages of that book. And then I did start the third book, but I only got a few pages in. I got to page 21. So all in all, I don't know how many pages that is. So that is 1,189 pages. However, please take this with a grain of salt, because I did do a 24-hour readathon, okay? When I tell you the majority of my reading comes from the weekends because I have so much going on during the week. But I maybe would have only read one full book on Saturday if it was a normal. If it was a normal weekend, I would have finished A Bond So Fierce and Fragile. I would have finished that book, and I would have started This Woven Kingdom, and I might have finished it. Very, very heavy on the might have finished it. I read 25 pages on Tuesday. Your girl didn't read a thing. I didn't read a thing. On Wednesday, I read 6 pages. Can you believe it? I know, right? And then, well, 2 separate times I read during work. I read for 7 pages, and then I read for 10 pages. Thursday, I didn't read, which that isn't typical for me. Usually I do read on Thursdays, actually, because that's like the least busiest day at work. But something abnormal happened this last week because it was really busy. But so I didn't read anything on Thursday. And then Friday, of course, I went into my 24-hour readathon. But I probably normally would have read maybe 60, 80 pages, and then maybe 100 or 200 pages on Saturday. And then Sunday, I don't usually read. Look at her, so cute. I usually don't read on Sundays. Sometimes I do. It just depends what I have going on after church. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video of just literally, if you can only read on the weekends, if you can only read one day a week, please understand that that is normal. Like, people who read books a day, that's truly a blessing. Honestly, it's a blessing that they get to do that, and that these influencers and these people that you see online that do read books in one day or read hundreds of pages in one day, that's because they've been blessed to do said reading for a living. Like, they're getting paid for you to watch that. And so, I mean, in my opinion, that is truly a blessing that they get to do that, you know? I don't know if I would ever do this necessarily full time. You know, it's always something, you know, sitting in the back of your mind. Anyway, side note, I got a new lip gloss. I don't know if y'all even care, but baby, this was like $4 at Ulta. And it's the same brand mascara that I use. It's called Essence. It's like the Lash Princess mascara. I love it. Eat it up. And I also use their brow gel, and I just saw that they had lip gloss. I didn't even know that. And I got it, and I'm just shining. My lips are just shining. Anyway. Alrighty, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Love you, bye.